Hello, imagine that you could travel 30, 40 years into the future, that you could see all the advances in health, in treatments, in the prevention of health problems, in the reversal of health problems, that you could see them, that you could experience them, and that all that information and what is necessary to apply it today, you could bring it back from those 40 years into the future and bring it to the present and apply it today on yourself, on your loved ones, and share it with the whole world if that were your wish. It would be interesting, wouldn't it? Well, if you stay until the end of this video, that is exactly the information I'm going to give you. This video has the potential to be the most important one you will watch in your life, at least for the next 40 years, and it has to do with your health. Let's get to it. First, let's start the research here. We are going to use ChatGPT to conduct a little research. Let's do it together. We are going to give some brief instructions to get the information in the correct way. Let's go. We are going to conduct scientific research about health. And I want the answers you give me to be in simple and easy to understand language. I only want you to answer what I ask you. Period. Don't make recommendations because I want the information to be as pure as possible. All right, let's go. Now it will tell us that everything is okay, and we will continue. Very well. What I am going to reveal to you now could be considered the secret of life. On Earth, of course, I mean the life on Earth. The secret of life. If you know what that secret is, do you apply it in your daily life? That would be an advantage, right? Well, let's see. Look. Is it indeed true that the most absolutely important and vital process for life on Earth is the oxidation-reduction process? Yes, it is true. The oxidation-reduction or redox process is fundamental for life on Earth because it is involved in essential functions such as cellular respiration, where cells use redox reactions to convert food into energy, ATP. Without this, organisms could not survive. Photosynthesis, where plants use redox reactions to transform sunlight into chemical energy, releasing oxygen. Metabolism, where many body processes depend on redox reactions, such as the breakdown of nutrients and the elimination of waste. Ecological balance, the carbon, oxygen, and nitrogen cycles, nature, all function thanks to redox reactions. In summary, without these processes, there would be no energy for life or recycling of essential elements in nature. Redox processes not only give life to you and me, but they also govern the magical balance that prevails on this planet Earth when humans don't mess things up, Clark. This is the secret of life, this redox balance. It regulates everything, it governs everything here on this Earth, including your health. That is the great secret. Let's delve into that now. Let's ask another question. Because if this is the secret that governs all living beings on Earth, what if we apply that to our health? Is there already a specific specialized science dedicated to that? Let's go there. What level of importance does the study of redox biology and medicine currently have for human health? And how much evidence exists in this field? Let's see. The study of biology and redox medicine is an important field of research in human health because it focuses on how oxidation-reduction reactions affect cellular functioning, aging, and diseases. Current level of importance. Well, I think these are very important things, right? Cellular functioning, how we age, and how we get sick. That's it. It's tremendous. Current level of importance. Impact on diseases. It has been found that the imbalance between oxidation and reduction, called oxidative stress, is related to diseases such as cancer, diabetes, neurodegenerative diseases, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, cardiovascular diseases, and aging. Therapies and treatments. Research is being conducted on the use of antioxidants, redox therapies, and oxidative stress modulators to prevent or treat diseases. Prevent? Interesting. Personalized medicine. Redox biology helps to understand how different people respond to diseases and treatments according to their ability to manage oxidative stress. That is very interesting. Regeneration and longevity. Who wouldn't like to regenerate, rejuvenate, and live longer? Well, research is being conducted on how to control the redox balance to improve cellular regeneration and slow down aging. But this is impressive. Let's continue to see what else it tells us. Available scientific evidence. There is already scientific evidence of this. Look, thousands of studies have demonstrated the relationship between oxidative stress and various diseases. Redox medicine is in an active research phase, with many clinical trials underway, but not all of its applications have solid evidence for specific treatments, as there will be thousands of ways to manipulate redox. If everything is redox, then practically anything can affect it. There are medications and therapies based on redox principles, like some types of clinical antioxidants, but their effectiveness varies depending on the disease and context. Well, it's not bad. There are many ways to handle this. In conclusion, redox biology and medicine are important and growing fields. But there is still much to research to turn these discoveries into widely accepted treatments. There is still much to research, but wow. Regeneration and longevity. Prevention. I want this now. Don't you want this now? Of course. So what's the next question? Let's go there. So, how long could it take to implement all these new discoveries on a general level to improve life for all people? The time it takes for discoveries in biology and medicine to be generally applied to improve life depends on several factors, such as the quality of the evidence, regulation, and investment in research. Factors that affect research in clinical services from 10 to 20 years, okay? Regulation and approval by the FDA in the USA and the EMA in Europe. 5 to 10 years? Let's average it here from 10 to 20, let's say. Halfway between 10 and 20 would be 15, right? So 15? Then here it would be. 15 and 7, 22, 23 years cost and access. The production of new treatments must be accessible to be applied globally. In some advanced countries, adoption can be quick, a few years, while in others it may take decades. Well, let's say 22, let's add 7 to make it 30. Medical and public acceptance. The scientific community needs consensus on effectiveness before it is widely applied. Medical education and public trust also influence the speed of adoption. I don't know, here it might be a bit more, 35. Maybe. A general estimate, current discoveries in medicine could start impacting clinical treatments in 10 to 30 years depending on the disease and available technology. As the entities are already in use, but more advanced treatments are still in development. In summary, although there are promising advances, global application to improve the lives of all people could take several decades. As mentioned, 20, 30, better 40 years. 20, 30, 40 years for all this, that is so good to be able to apply it, but it's just that, is it really necessary to have so much research, so many studies to be sure? Let's see. Here is a page called PubMed. Maybe you know it, maybe you don't. If you don't know it, let's ask ChatGPT here about its reliability. Let's see. What exactly is the prestige and reliability of... Actually, this needs to be written down because if not, I will spell it out wrong. PubMed is one of the most prestigious and reliable scientific databases in the world in the field of medicine and biology. It is managed by the National Library of Medline and is part of the National Institutes of Health. Prestige and reliability of PubMed. Official and recognized source. Used by doctors, researchers, and scientists worldwide. Access to peer-reviewed studies. Most articles come from scientific journals that apply peer review. ensuring quality and scientific rigor. In other words, not just any study is published here. It contains extensive coverage with millions of articles from index journals, including high-quality research in medicine, biology, pharmacology, and public health. Linkage with Medline. Many articles come from Medline, which is a database with rigorous review, and PostMed Central, which offers free access to full studies. Limitations. You have to see both sides of the coin. Not everything is 100% verified. Although most studies are reliable, some might be a bit less rigorous. Quality validation. It publishes everything from high-impact studies to more preliminary research. It can include contradictory studies. Science evolves, there are no absolutes, and findings can be refuted over time. In summary, PubMed is one of the best sources of scientific information in health and biology, but it is crucial to read studies with critical thinking, considering methodology, size, etc. Well, we see that PubMed is the most reliable source in the world, but even so, there are exceptions within the studies. So now, let's see if that is really the case. How many studies are needed for something to be reliable? Certain? I don't know. Let's look at some examples here. For example, do you know omega-3? Well, of course, everyone knows it's good, it's necessary. How much scientific evidence does omega-3 have for everyone to consume it without any medical caution, and even pregnant women can take it? Well, according to this, omega-3 has 40,000 studies. Well, that's good. That's quite a few studies. I don't know. Another example, vitamin B, which is also very popular these days. Many people supplement with vitamin B. 108,000 studies. Very well, vitamin B is good. 108,000, more than double that of omega-3. Well, and with that number of studies, they have concluded that this is safe. They have tested it in enough ways, right? How many studies are there on Rex? Let's see. Wow, 382,373. 3,303. It has almost 4 times more studies than vitamin D, not to mention omega-3. So, with so much scientific evidence, why is it still so covered up? So hidden? It's strange, isn't it? Well, let's continue with our investigation. There is a study among these, 300, almost 400,000, titled as follows: Biochemical Basis and Metabolic Interplay of Reduced Regulations. That is, biochemical basis and interaction. Metabolic regulation of redox. Let's look at this study. Because this study, from my point of view, and now you can tell me if you think the same, is one of the most important ever conducted in the history of humanity. Why? Look, this study was indexed in this source on PubMed in September 2019. This study states, Here, we summarize the current knowledge related to the chemical and biochemical characteristics of the primary species, ROS. These are the reactive oxygen species. That is, they are the part of the redox, the oxidation part, and then the corresponding antioxidants, which would be the reduction part. Reduction, oxidation, redox, it has to do with this, with ROs and with antioxidants. Well, that is, it's a summary of everything that was known about the current knowledge up to 2019. Okay, let's get into the study. And we see that it is published in a journal called Redox Biology. So let's see what the reliability level of this journal is. We'll even look at this study's reliability later on as well. Let's ask ChatGPT to tell us everything. We want to know everything because we want to be completely confident that everything we do is 100% reliable. So let's come here and ask. What level of prestige and reliability does the journal Redox Biology offer? Well, I wrote it first. Huh? Oh, thank goodness. It hasn't been changed on me. The journal Redox Biology is a highly prestigious and reliable scientific publication in the field of biology. Redox, Oxidative Stress and Diseases, or Imaging. Level of prestige. Published by Elsevier. It is a globally recognized scientific publisher. High impact factor. In recent years, its impact factor has been around 8 or 10, which indicates that its articles are highly cited and relevant in the scientific community. Peer review. All published studies undergo a rigorous process, ensuring quality and scientific validity. Indexed in recognized databases. It is in PubMed, Scopus, Web of Science. I say PubMed, it would be PubMed, right? Which confirms its reliability. Let's see here. Reliability. It publishes advanced research on biology, redox, exosuciatives, and antioxidants in diseases. Renowned authors in the field of biochemistry and redox medicine contribute to the journal. Focus on molecular mechanisms and potential therapeutic applications with studies in cells, animals, and humans. And then, some research is preliminary, not all studies end up becoming clinical treatments. In conclusion, Redox Biology is a reliable and prestigious scientific journal in the field of biology, redox, with high-impact research. However, as with any journal, it is important to analyze each study individually, considering its methodology and conclusions before applying them to clinical practice. Very well, that's what we are going to do. We need to be sure that the information is correct, so let's click here to view the PDF. Notice that what I'm doing, you can do with any study you consider. Let's download the entire study. Very well, in downloads. Now watch what I'm going to do. I come here to ChatGPT. I grab the study. I upload it. And now, having the PDF of the study, we are going to do the following question. Is this a reliable study from a reliable source? Yes, the study is reliable and comes from a reliable source. Reasons why it is reliable. Published in the journal Redox Biology, which is one of the high-impact journals in the field of redox biology. We already know that. Affiliated authors, recognized institutions. The authors belong to prestigious universities and research centers such as Temple University School of Medicine in the United States, Sun Yat-sen University in China, Nanjing Medical University in China. Peer review. As part of Redox Biology, the article has undergone a rigorous review process by experts in the field. Open access and reliable license. It is available under the license CC, no, BY, and C, ND, which allows for consultation and use with restrictions on modification and commercialization. Detailed and well-founded content. The study reviews the biochemical basis and regulation of redox metabolism with references to multiple previous studies. Because, as I mentioned before, this study is a summary of 300,000 studies. All the knowledge about redox up to that point was summarized in this study. Therefore, what is stated here is reliable and of high quality within the field of biology. Redox with scientifically solid information, backed by renowned institutions. Pay attention to what I'm telling you. Scientifically, well, what ChatGPT says, scientifically, solid, no? Backed by renowned institutions. Why do I make emphasis on this? Because what comes next is going to blow your mind. Look, now is when you're going to remember that you traveled to the future, 30, 40 years. And you're going to bring that information back here. Pay attention to the next question we're going to ask. According to this study, please give me the complete and detailed list of all the diseases that can be prevented. Comprehensive information. By maintaining a redox state. Perfectly balanced. Let's go. According to the study published in Biodo Networks, maintaining network balance may be related to the prevention of various diseases. Next, I present the list of diseases mentioned in the article where the Star Society played a key role. Cardiovascular diseases, atherosclerosis, myocardial infarction, heart failure, stroke. Metabolic diseases, obesity and type 2 diabetes, hyperlipidemia, which are elevated levels of cholesterol and triglycerides, hyperhomocystinemia, elevated levels of homocysteine in the blood are complicated diseases, neurodegenerative diseases, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, amyotrophic lateral sclerosis. Wow. Cancer. Various types of cancer associated with oxidative stress, lung, liver, breast, colon. Various inflammatory and autoimmune diseases, rheumatoid arthritis, inflammatory bowel disease, such as Crohn's, colitis, lupus, systemic erythematosus, which is the most complicated form of lupus, generally affecting different organs. Disorders related to aging, cellular damage and premature aging, mitochondrial dysfunction and tissue degeneration, which means degeneration of tissues. Pulmonary diseases, obstructive, COPD, pulmonary fibrosis and other conditions, oxidative stress induced by infections and sepsis, injury, polyischemia, and reperfusion, which means organ damage after lack of oxygen, such as a heart attack or transplant. Conclusion? The study indicates that, open your eyes and ears wide, maintaining an adequate redox balance could help prevent or reduce the risk of these diseases, as many are related to oxidative damage and the dysregulation of reactive oxygen species, ROS. However, the article also mentions that general antioxidants have had mixed results in clinical trials, suggesting that regulating the redox balance is a complex process that requires more research. That is to say, they have not managed to regulate redox processes just by taking antioxidants. But if you manage to balance the redox, you are ready to prevent all this. Incredible. So we can ensure, if we knew how to balance our redox, that we would stay away from all that. That information is already public. I'm getting goosebumps. Let's ask another question. Equally important, or perhaps more so. According to this study, which of all these diseases could be halted or reversed by maintaining a balanced redox and eliminating oxidative stress? According to the published study, some diseases could be halted or even reversed. If a balanced redox state is maintained and oxidative stress is eliminated, the total reversal would depend on the stage of the disease and other biological factors. Diseases that could be halted or reversed with an adequate redox balance. Wow. Impressive. Metabolic diseases, highly influenced by oxidative stress, irreversible if not controlled in time. Obesity. Oxidative stress is involved in chronic inflammation, insulin resistance. Therefore, balancing redox can help reverse these effects and improve metabolism. Type 2 diabetes. It has been shown that reducing oxidative stress can restore the function of pancreatic beta cells and improve insulin sensitivity. Hyperlipidemia. Balancing redox is suitable for reducing lipid oxidation and improving the blood lipid profile. Hyperhomocysteinemia. This condition is related to oxidative stress, and its management could prevent its progression to cardiovascular diseases. Cardiovascular diseases can be slowed in some cases or improved with regulation. Arrhythmias, atherosclerosis, myocardial infarction, heart failure, stroke. Neurodegenerative diseases can be slowed, but reversal is limited. Well, slowing them down is an achievement. Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, ALS. Wow, this is intense. It has been observed that oxidative stress contributes to neuronal damage, but its complete reversal has not yet been demonstrated. It has not yet been demonstrated, but it doesn't say it's impossible, but it does say it can be slowed. It gives me goosebumps. With this information coming from the future, remember, cancer can be prevented, but reversal depends on the type and the stage. Lung, liver, breast, and colon cancer can slow development, but reversal depends on progression and other factors. Inflammatory and autoimmune diseases. Rheumatoid arthritis with oxidative stress, so its regulation can improve. Inflammatory, bowel disease. systemic, some lupus erythematosus. Lung diseases, COPD, pulmonary fibrosis, ischemia injury, oxidative stress exacerbated by infections. Conclusion: metabolic, cardiovascular, and inflammatory diseases are the most reversible if the redox balance is restored. Neurodegenerative and pulmonary diseases can be slowed, but reversal is limited. Cancer can be prevented and slowed in early stages, but total reversal is not approved, nor does it mean that it is impossible. The study highlights that the balance of two is a key factor in the progression of many diseases, but it also clarifies that general antioxidants have not always been successful in clinical trials, indicating that a more specific and personalized approach is necessary to achieve the balance. But it does not mean that if you have the balance, all of this is achieved. What they still are not clear about is how to guarantee that balance 100%. But this is what happens. Wow, and tell me one thing. What would happen if instead of being someone who simply wants to prevent or reverse some problem or problems, your interest is more in sports? Well, maybe like mine, right? What would happen? Let's go there. What evidence in redox biology and medicine exists about how the redox balance influences in strength, endurance, speed, muscle mass creation, recovery after exercise, and injury, prevention and recovery? Let's see. The balance of the factors that suggest the equilibrium between production, all of this we already know, is performed by percussion in various aspects of physical performance. The following details the scientific evidence on how this balance influences different areas. Influence on strength and endurance, energy production, muscle fatigue. In other words, it influences avoiding fatigue and energy production. When you have the imbalance, you have more energy. When you have the imbalance, there is muscle fatigue. Speed and muscle mass creation, protein synthesis. Oxidative stress interferes with muscle protein synthesis, negatively affecting hypertrophy and muscle recovery. A balanced redox state favors proper signaling for protein synthesis, promoting muscle growth. Contractile function, oxidative stress or ROS at controlled levels, which would be the redox balance rather, act as signaling molecules that modulate the contractile function of the muscle. However, if it becomes unbalanced, if there is a redox imbalance, an excess can damage proteins, reducing the speed and efficiency of movement. Post-exercise recovery. Muscle damage from intense exercise causes microlesions in muscle fibers, generating an inflammatory response and an increase in ROS. An efficient antioxidant system neutralizes these ROS. Perfect. That is, it prevents muscle damage after exercise. Redox balance regulates the post-exercise inflammatory response. But if there is an imbalance, it can program inflammation, delaying recovery and increasing the risk of injuries. Injury prevention and recovery. Integrity of tissue from chronic oxidative stress can weaken structures like tendons and ligaments, making them susceptible to injuries. Balance of antioxidants strengthens these tissues, contributing to injury prevention. Healing during injury recovery. Controlled production of ROS is necessary for cellular signaling in tissue repair. However, an excess, that is, oxidative excess, can cause additional damage. An optimal redox balance ensures efficient and effective healing. In conclusion, evidence in redox biology and medicine highlights the importance of maintaining a redox balance to optimize physical performance, promote muscle growth, facilitate post-exercise recovery, and prevent injuries. Strategies such as proper nutrition, planned training, and supplementation can be beneficial. Wow. This is incredible. So, prevent them in more severe areas. Possibility to reverse them, halt them, or reverse them. Improve. Everything. You need to perform better in sports. So we could say something that seems like a utopia, but look. Could we perhaps say that redox balance is the closest thing to the fountain of youth? What a statement, right? Could it be true? Redox balance could be considered one of the most important factors in the aging process, but it is not exactly a fountain of youth in the absolute sense. However, science has shown that maintaining an optimal redox state is closely linked to longevity, cellular health, and the prevention of diseases associated with aging. So, why is redox balance associated with longevity? Protection of DNA and prevention of cellular damage. An adequate redox balance keeps DNA repair mechanisms in optimal condition. Mitochondrial function and cellular energy. Mitochondria are the powerhouses of the cell and are a significant source of reactive oxygen species. If the balance of the two is maintained, mitochondria function efficiently, reducing damage and prolonging cell life. Of course, if our cells live longer, we live longer. Regulation of inflammation and the immune system. Aging is associated with chronic low-grade inflammation. Inflammation, I don't know what it's called there. A stable redox balance prevents excessive inflammatory responses that accelerate cellular and organ deterioration. Maintenance of proteins and tissues. The accumulation of damaged proteins and the loss of elasticity in tissues are signs of aging. An optimal redox state keeps proteins functional and protects collagen, elastin, and other essential structures. Longevity and autophagy. Autophagy is the cellular process that recycles damaged components to maintain cellular health. A good redox balance promotes autophagy, helping to eliminate defective cells and delay aging. Is redox balance the ultimate key to youth? While redox balance is a fundamental pillar for longevity and cellular health, aging is a multifactorial process. Other aspects, such as genetics, nutrition, etc., play a key role. Conclusion. It is not, obviously we already knew it wasn't, but look at what it says here. It is the closest that science has identified so far, in terms of slowing down aging, prevent chronic diseases, and keep the body in optimal condition for longer. And what else is it? What else is it? Do you see how this was the most important study, the most important video? For your health and that of your family? Something happens. If all this is so good. The question everyone always asks me, if all this is so good, Iago, as you say. Here comes the question. If the discoveries in redox biology and medicine are so powerful, why do most doctors still not use them, nor recommend them? The million-dollar question, right? Despite the fact that discoveries in redox biology and medicine have demonstrated their impact on health and aging, most doctors still do not use them and recommend them widely for several reasons, of course. First, a lack of scientific consensus on their clinical application. Although research shows that redox balance is essential for health, many studies are still in the experimental stage. Medical science requires robust and repeated clinical trials before a treatment is widely adopted. General antioxidants have shown mixed results in clinical studies, which raises doubts about their practical obligation. I repeat, antioxidants are not the only way to regulate redox. There are many ways. Traditional medicine relies on proven and regulated treatments. Conventional medicine is based on treatments with strong clinical evidence and approved by health organizations like the FDA, EMA, and WHO. Most redox therapies have not yet been standardized as treatment protocols, so doctors do not consider them a primary option. There are specific drugs to treat diseases, and the redox approach is not yet incorporated into conventional pharmacology. They have not incorporated it yet. Lack of training in redox biology and medical education. This means that doctors are not aware of this, so they cannot recommend something they do not know. Medical schools do not teach in depth about redox biology, as the traditional focus is on anatomy, physiology, and pharmacology, not on redox biology. Most doctors are not trained in redox strategies, so they do not consider them in their treatments. Why am I not talking to you? Medical education tends to prioritize symptom management with medications over cellular prevention at the molecular level. Point number 4. The pharmaceutical industry and the current health model. The healthcare system is designed around specific pharmacological treatments, and redox medicine, by focusing on prevention and cellular balance, does not easily fit into this model. The big pharmaceutical companies invest more in medications than in redox strategies, as medications create a more stable and controlled market. And let everyone interpret it as they wish. There is not much interest in funding research on how to naturally balance redox, because this does not generate lucrative patents. And let everyone interpret it they wish. And well, here are some more things, but in conclusion, despite the enormous potential of redox biology, it has not yet been adopted by most doctors because there are not enough trials. This is not the real reason, it's an excuse. Rather, there is a lack of education in this field, and the healthcare system prioritizes already established pharmacological treatments. However, research continues to advance, and it is likely that in the future, redox medicine will play a more significant role. Wow, so much information, right? To conclude, are you going to wait until maybe in 20, 30, 40 years? This is said by everyone. Or do you want to use this information here? And now, since you've seen that there is enough scientific evidence, and above all, I want you to remember this. How to balance redox naturally, which does not generate lucrative patents, but it is possible. And do you know why I know it's possible? Because for the last 10 years, I have been specializing with Nobel Prize winners in medicine, with the people who know the most about this topic in the world, to become an expert in natural redox biology. Because I am not a doctor, I cannot talk about medications or treating or diseases or anything like that. That's not my field. But I can. And in fact, that's what I'm doing with thousands of people around the world. I'm teaching them through 5 natural steps, without contraindications, without the need for clinical trials. Very simple and easy things to do. 5 simple steps through which you can perfectly balance perfectly the redox of your body. What benefits does that have? You've already seen them. If you want to know more about how, naturally, without medication, naturally, I'm not a doctor, you can learn to balance the redox of your body and obtain all the benefits that high-impact, high-level medical science, as they say here. The most prestigious journals, the most advanced studies, all that I've shown you, all that they say, if you want to experience it today and not wait 40 years for them to agree, right below this video, I want the 5 steps. And I, or someone from my team, will get in touch with you. And we will explain to you in a free 30-minute session via Zoom the 5 natural steps so that you can perfectly balance the redox of your body. Sending you a big hug. Now it's time for you to evaluate whether I have fulfilled what I promised you at the beginning or not. See you in upcoming videos.